Hey guys, Aphobia here, coming out with you a Shadow Priest pre-patch PvP guide real quick. If you have any questions at all, just leave a comment below or follow me at Twitch TV/Aphobia Gaming. I'll make a very quick guide. I'm not going to keep you guys up too much, alright? So we're just going to go straight into the changes. Void Eruption, 1.5 minute cooldown. Best way to revolve around this, guys. Stop thinking of the void eruption being every 2 seconds. Stop, just think of it as a burst CD or as a trinket kind of usage. Like, hey, I got burst, void eruption. That's the first things first. All right. Second thing is our mastery has changed. Right, our mastery used to just do a flatline base damage. Now it does damage per dot we have on the target. So the more mastery, the more damage per dot. Again, I still think the haste verse meta is gonna be the play here. So don't worry too much about that. All right. New abilities that we got Desperate Prayer. Desperate Prayer, if you don't know, it's like a Battle Master trinket, but it heals you. Gives you instant 25% health and increases your health by 25%. Very good to preemptive plays on yourself. If you're gonna get hit by like a rogue mage burst, you can preemptively do it, and if you know it's coming, and there you go. All right, big things. Big things we're gonna go over real quick. All right, talents. First talent you guys want to do, Unfurling Darkness. What does that do? Unfurling Darkness, cast VT, boom, instant VT. Great, quick way to get your dots out, guys. Very, very good. Second tree, intangibility. Don't have to worry about specking out of that. Maybe play Sandaline if you're playing Shadow Play versus like a Unholy Death Knight or a Demolock team. Get more healing out of it if you're not the target, of course. We have a lot of self-healing, a lot of self-sustain. I don't see us being the target very much. But still, intangibility is to play. Never spec out of Misery, guys. Misery, if you already know, Vampiric Touch, boom, Shadow or Pain, and it works with Unfurling Darkness. Amazing synergy with our abilities right now, guys. Next row, Psychic Horror. Of course, that's my go-to. If you're playing Rogue Priest Paladin, Rogue Priest Druid, Rogue Priest Shaman, you can go Last Word. More than you, I mean, that's very, very good to go with when you play with a Rogue. Certain comps, you can run Mind Bomb if you can't reach the target. So if you're playing against like the Walking Dead, for instance, or Hero Cleave, where you're just gonna be slowed and you can't reach the target, Mind Bomb's the play. All right. Next row, I've tinkered with a little bit. For Shadowlands, Psychic Link with the Talbodar's Legendary is gonna be good, but as of right now, I run Auspicious Spirits because Auspicious Spirits is like your hardest hitting dot right now, or proc, I should say. Hits harder than all your dots. When you put your Auspicious Spirits with your Shadow Apparitions, your Shadow Apparitions just becomes overloaded. Average I've seen is about 12 to 1300 damage, and you can just send so many of them now, guys. Especially because Shadow Apparitions has changed to the when you use Shadow Word, when you have Shadow Word, Vampiric Touch on a target. Let me go ahead and put it up for you guys real quick so you guys see it. When you have Vampiric Touch on a target, and then you either Mind Blast, Devouring Plague, or Void Bolt, it sends out a Shadow Apparition. If you crit, it sends 2. A lot of damage, guys, especially with all the changes. Another change that we got is called Dark Thoughts. When you either Mind Sear or Mind Flay a target, you have a chance to get the Dark Thoughts proc, which is like the new Shadowy Insight, where you just get a free Mind Blast. Rare proc, I don't see it happening all that often. Probably the same amount of chance as if you would have Shadowy Insight if you spammed it. But you don't spam it, so just don't worry too much about it. If it comes up, great. Again, I already talked to the Mastery, so we're good there. All right, next talent we're going to go into here is Damnation. Think of Damnation as Overgrowth for a Shadow Priest dots. Just like Overgrowth, you throw it up, all your hots go on a target. Well, guess what? Damnation, all of our dots go on a target. And it pairs with Unfurling Darkness. So, instant damage to everybody. Very, very easy. Very, very quick. Now, keep in mind, Unfurling Darkness does have a 15-second cooldown. So, if you want to pair it, just keep in mind with that. Very easy. I actually made a, with the add-on Tell Me When, it actually lets me know when it's up because, boom, it procs right there. Same thing as if I have enough for my Devouring Plague. If you guys see here in about 1 second, when I have enough for Devouring Plague, boom. Devouring Plague's on my screen. Don't gotta look at my bars to see if I have enough sanity or just pay. In general, just ease of mind, quality of life situation there. Last row here, we have Ancient Madness. Pretty much the best you can choose there. Nothing here is really good, but you get instant 30% crit when you go into Void Eruption, and you can just do some big damage goes there. it's just well played. If you set it up right, you can do some big swaps, big goes. It's very, very nice. Honor talent, Blasting Plague is my go-to. Just doubles the damage of your Devouring Plague for a longer duration. So same damage it would do in 6 seconds. But if you spread it to 12 seconds, you do twice as much, and you don't have to worry about putting it up on that same target as much. I think it's the go-to play, especially if you can play comps like Shadow Play or S-Cleave. Greater Fade, obviously, I never spec out of that. No reason to. The only thing I see myself ever specking out of would be Scyphine if I'm getting trained, because it's just gonna die anyways, and I'll most likely use Driven Madness in that scenario. Thought Steal is a new PvP talent that we got, and what it does is it steals certain abilities from certain classes that have mana. They have to have mana. The only time I'd ever use this is against an RMP situation or a mage situation to steal polymorph from them so they can't use poly for 20 seconds, especially if you know that they have a go coming up. You can stop it. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown, but it could be, you want to use it as like, hey, dude, we're going to die here. If I get poly, take that from them. If you have no stops, boom. Really good to have. Other than that, that's all I would see. I don't see myself really using Mind Trauma. This is my go-to right here. Same as before, except when we go into Shadowlands, we're going to need that life swap ability because we're going to lose our Conflict and Strife major. So Void Shift, probably going to drop Siphon for the Void Shift because I plan on playing with classes who have an MS. So Siphon's not going to have as much value, but we'll see once Shadowlands comes around. Not worried about it too much. All right, guys. Traits and essences. Essence, still Conflict and Strife major. I like Essence of Focus and Iris and Breath of the Dying. But the biggest thing here that most Shadow Priests kind of been using, you were using Memory of Lucid Dreams. You know, you have a chance to refund your health, or you have a chance to refund insanity in void form and heal yourself. But guess what? 1.5 minute cooldown on your void eruption loses its appeal. So I've already been using Blood of the Enemy. I've never actually used Memory of Lucid Dreams. I've always used Blood of the Enemy. So I would say a good go-to to swap that out of is Blood of the Enemy. You can also use Vision of Perfection or Condensed Life Force. Both can be a good alternative to get rid of that Memory of Lucid Dreams. Again, it's just on a 1.5 minute cooldown, it really just has no use. As of your Azurite traits, Death Throws still to go to, but I would say get as many spat for apparitions as you can. Right now I'm doing 2 apparitions, 2 Death Throws, and 1 Course of Insanity, just so when I'm out of my burst window, I still have that crit stacked up, so I can still continue the damage train after burst. Maybe get a lucky Shadow or Death crit or something for close to a kill range. I don't know. I just like having that on personally. I like having it ready to go. So that's pretty much it. As of stats, again, haste and versatility is what I'm sticking with. Seems to be the best. I don't see mastery being the biggest go-to, so not worried about that too much. Last thing I'm gonna talk about real quick. Again, I'm gonna try and make this a short video for y'all. You're pretty much your setup in either burst situation or just going into the arena. So when you first go into the arena, a good thing to do, very quick, Damnation, Unfurling Darkness, start your start your damage rotation, Mind Blast, keep the dots up, right? Keep dots up on people. If you have sanity to spend and you're not ready for a burst, always spend it on Devouring Plague. It should be an on resource ability. When you have it, use it. When you got it, go for it. Do not have Devouring Plague up. It should always be up on at least 1 target at a time. If more, great. If not, at least 1. Always have it going. Never get rid of it. Now, when you're ready for a burst, you can tell your teammates, hey, I'm ready. Let's get it going. They can get the CC chain rolling. You're going to go into Void Eruption, Void Bolt, Damnation if you have it, Shadow Fiend, Psy Fiend, Void Bolt, Mind Blast, keep Devouring Plague up. You know, keep it going. If you don't, again, if you have Damnation, it's even better because you can just throw Damnation up, and then you can do just to keep the rotation instantly. But again, that should be how generally you go with CC chain rolling. If you don't have Void Eruption and you're trying to burst, just make sure you have Devouring Plague. So a good thing to do is get your Unfurling Darkness ready to go because it does have an on-hit effect and it does more damage. So you're going to go ahead and do Unfurling Darkness. You're going to go into Devouring Plague, Mind Blast, boom. And if you have Siphon, throw Siphon on top of this. That's pretty much how you burst without having that Void Eruption. Good to go. Last thing you can do, a little bit of survival things for you guys, all right, guys? So a good thing to do, again, if you're going to get bursted by an RMP who has an MS, a lot of the time, this little heal from Desperate ain't could be all that much. Could save you, but a good thing that could also save you is if you preemptively do it. If you do it before you get a hit, you get that 25% extra health, so you can actually survive the go. If, let's say, a smoke bomb's on you and you see that damage going, great, good to go. Secondly, a good thing to get used to now that Shadow Word Death has a damage effect back to you, like it reverted back to its old state. If you see a polymorph's coming on you, Shadow Word Death does damage back to you, you get out of the polymorph. Great outplay potential there, guys. Very, very good. That's pretty much all I really wanted to go into. Last thing I'm going to say real quick is just the comps to look out for. Look out for Shadow Cleave, look out for Shadow Play, and of course you can play the Rogue Priest Shaman, Rogue Priest Druid, Rogue Priest Holy Pally. Again, if you don't know what Shadow Cleave is, that's DK, Shadow Priest Healer. Shadow Play is Affliction Lock, Shadow Priest Healer. Those are the comps to look out for, especially going into Shadowlands. They look very prevalent. Windwalker, if they don't get nerfed, grab a Windwalker too. You can do Windwalker, Shadow Priest Healer. Probably going to be good with the Shaman, since Shaman also is looking really nice inside of the Shadowlands expansion, or Resto Druid. With any of those comps work too, because they look like they're going to be good too. That's pretty much all. Again, I wanted to keep it short, sweet, to the point. Very quick guide. If you guys have any questions at all, leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe. I'll probably try to put more videos out here for the pre-patch as things go, and a bunch during Shadowlands. You guys can catch me on my Twitch, once again, twitch.tv/Aphobia Gaming. See you next time.